Hi, this is Danny Doyle, and I am here doing quite possibly the most niche playthrough that I have ever done. I know that I do not have a very large following and a small and dedicated fan base, so I figured what is the best way to take advantage of that but to do an extremely niche playthrough and make me appeal to even fewer people. Obviously, it's the smartest decision. So I'm doing Fire Emblem 1 0% growths. Now, because Chapter 1 is basically... it's brainless. You do everything with Jagen, and the other calves help out, and Doga helps out, and Gordon helps out. You don't really need to train anyone who you have here. You don't really need to work on anything other than, getting through the map. I will take advantage of this relatively explanation-free chapter. I killed the thief because I don't want the thief to attack us from the back lines, but everything else is pretty straightforward. Put Jagen on the fort. Everyone knows to do that. I'll take advantage of this relatively straightforward chapter to talk about the particular rule set, I guess would be the phrase I'm using for this. I am, as I do with all of my runs, going to take advantage of all of the tools at my disposal. And that includes glitches. Now, I normally do not use glitches. I'm not going to use, enemy control glitch on GBA or something like that. But I think that part of the fun of old janky games like Fire Emblem 1, like Fire Emblem 2, is the glitches, is taking advantage of just how held together with duct tape this game is. If I'm going to play the slow, groggy process that is FE1, I might as well do it in a way that differentiates it from Shadow Dragon and FE3. And those games are differentiated even without the glitches. FE3 has fewer maps and fewer characters. Shadow Dragon has reclassing and higher difficulty, so they're distinct from each other, but I think that the way that is most interesting, because I could also just play Shadow Dragon without reclassing and on normal mode difficulty, which I think is relatively equal to this. What's more interesting to me is to take advantage of how held together by duct tape this game is, just how much of a mess it is. And I think that makes for a more fun playthrough. It's a more enjoyable experience on my end, and I would hope it's a more enjoyable experience on the viewer's end. I love watching glitches. I don't know about y'all, but speedrunning is... I love watching speedrunning, and I love the glitchless ones because they're just like a display of sport, but I absolutely love watching a game I loved from my childhood get just destroyed. So that's what I plan on doing to this. With one exception, there is a glitch, the credits warp, that's used by the speedrun, and I'm not going to use that because, well, this series would be one video long. It would be chapter 1, and then you use the credits warp. Even if I didn't end up doing exactly what the speedrun does, that you can credits warp from the castle on this map. And that's, I feel like I don't need to explain why I'm not doing that, but I am going to be using all of the other glitches. Most of those glitches revolve around the unit Bantu. This is a big reason why FE1's incarnation of Bantu is definitely my favorite character in FE1, and one of my favorite units just, in general. He embraces the old school jank and, takes advantage of all of those glitches. So I'll elaborate what on each of those glitches does when we get to them. The big one is he can use the promotion item to functionally make his defense infinite, and that can fuck around with, infinite defense is good. And then anyone can use a talisman barrier staff combination thing to make themselves have functionally infinite res. Defense you can exceed the cap of, but res you can't. Even with the glitch, you do still have, capped resistance, so that is a little bit awkward, but still, 7 resistance is functionally infinite for a lot of reasons. Here we get to see some Gordon action, though. So you'll notice he's using what looks like a crossbow. Kaga did it first. It's called the bow gun. It is basically a short bow from GBA. It's kind of a killer bow with less crit and less might. It does not have one range, though. It's not quite Kaga did it first, but it is a fun animation. I love the fact that the bowgun exists, and that causes me to use archers more than perhaps I would. Doga also gets a fair share of usage, so if you like making Doga choke the point jokes, then this is the playthrough for you, because you're going to get to see some Armor Knight action, because bulky units are valuable and actually fairly rare in this game. It's kind of incredible how growth-focused FE1 actually is. It's beatable without growths. It was kind of designed such that if you people talk about how it was sort of designed to be Iron Man, so you don't need to keep all of your growth units, except for Marth, who is the growthiest unit of them all. And we're going to be presented with more and more of a problem as his growths continue to not go up. Because he's dealing decent damage now, like 6 damage to a Brigand, and is not terrible for Chapter 1, for a main lord. Using the Rapier, too, which, spoilers, is going to be what he uses for the majority of the playthrough, because Rapier's buyable in this game, which is a neat little... There's so many neat little not eccentricities, neat little, like, things that make FE1 unique that I'm excited to show off in this playthrough, some of which I discovered in this playthrough as well, some of which I knew beforehand, and some of which I knew but forgot about and fell into the trap of forgetting about them. I am also, because it's 0% growths, not playing on the Nintendo Switch Artificial Scarcity version, so that's, the translation is going to be silly and sort of meme-filled. It's not, like, intentionally meme-filled. It's meme-filled as in, like, people meme on things like, he became Sale. It's not like, the old Thracia translation that's had, like, in America listed. This is more of a, see, watch Gordon not counter from one range. You're using a crossbow. Haven't you played Radiant Dawn, Gordon? Also, see Gordon's armor. Archers were actually supposed to be like armored units in FE1, which is hilarious. They're defensively focused 2-range units. This is a game of its own. Fun fact about Sheeta, she can use the Silver Lance. I did not give it to her in this chapter because I don't want to waste Silver Lance uses. I know hoarding is a pitfall. But also because, like, what was she gonna do with it? She's extremely frail. And, like, the only reason to give her the Silver Lance would really be to have her fly ahead and kill the boss, but there's pirates in the north that sort of stop her from doing that. And because I do not have a way of transporting Marth any faster, all that would do would be to put her in danger unnecessarily. Anyway, here's Riff. Riff is a cleric. Oh, I didn't really review the units. Here's my unit analysis. Marth is good when he has growths, but he's going to fall off real quickly. Gordon is an archer. Archers tend to be bad, but wyverns are scary, so I will be using him quite a lot. Doga has bulk, so I plan to use Doga as well. Cain and Abel are cavaliers. They have high movement, and their stats kind of trash, but they're honestly not that bad. Like, Jagen's not that much better than them. His benefit is only really his weapon rank. Oh, that is the other thing I forgot to mention. No one is going to gain weapon ranks in this playthrough, because in FE1, weapon level was a stat that you gained during your level ups. So, with 0% growths, there's a 0% chance of anyone gaining weapon level. So that's going to be fun. People who can't use specific weapons are never going to be able to use them. So, like, Jagen's value is that he will always be able to use the Silver Lance. The value that Sheeta using the Silver Lance is that she will always be able to use it. Anyway, that is Chapter 1 of FE1 0% Growths. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye.